Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Just Say Guay. I'm your host, George Guay. Today I'm joined by Jaxson Stauber, who's a goaltender for the Friars hockey team at Providence College. Jaxson, thanks for coming on, man.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Yeah, so take me through today. How are you guys, turning the corner from UMass onto Northeastern?
Today, we took the day off, but we looked at some video and just kind of went over some things that we can get better at. And ultimately, like you said, we just got to move on and be ready for Northeastern this weekend.
Yeah, it's a good mindset. Was it kind of like the similar approach to what happened with Boston College?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, anytime that, we have a tough loss like that, I think you just kind of evaluate your game and see where it's at, areas to improve upon. But ultimately, it's done, it's over with, and we just have to be ready for the next game.
Yeah, so speaking for the next game, it seems like a lot of games this year are suddenly announced, and before you know you're playing that team. Does that make it harder knowing that you don't really know your opponent sometimes until 3 or 4 days before?
I guess it can be, but I think we know early enough in the week where we can still work on areas where, we see that their team is strong in, so we can see how to defend that, and where we can attack, maybe some areas where they're not quite as strong in. But with this year, you just got to be flexible. So we just are kind of going with it, and we'll make it work.
Yeah, so it's definitely a unique year for the players, but as a student as well, this is your first year at Providence College. What have you liked so far, not just as an athlete, but as a student as well?
Yeah, I think it's a small community, which is nice. It's the campus is easy to get around and stuff like that. So that's one aspect that's nice, especially in a year like this.
Yeah, so do you feel that as a first year student so far that everyone's really connected, whether it's, coming in and out of your dorm or going into the dining hall? It seems like everyone's really in touch with one another.
Yeah, for sure. It's like I said, a smaller school, so you see familiar faces, which is nice. And you get to know people. Yeah.
Okay, so tell me how you ended up here in terms of your transfer process. You were at Minnesota State. You take the time to end up here at Providence College. How did that work?
Yeah. So last year I started out at Minnesota State, and then I went back to Sioux Falls, which is where I'd played junior hockey for the previous 2 years, and it was Coach Beal had reached out to me, I think around Christmas time, and showed some interest. So I took a visit out here in January and really enjoyed it. And yeah, that's kind of how it started. It was kind of a quick process for me. I wanted to kind of make a decision, find out where I was going to go next, so then I could focus on the rest of that season. But yeah, so it was a fun, pretty easy process.
Yeah, so during that process, was there like one moment where you kind of looked at the school and said, "This is where I want to be"?
Um, I don't know if there was one moment, but there was a couple. I know that first when Coach Bill reached out, I was like Providence, and I got excited about it. And when you have that instinct right away, I think that's a good sign to know that that's somewhere that you want to go. And ultimately, I just felt like this was going to be the right place for me.
Yeah. So other than being a young team, this team this year, what else do you like about this team?
I think we have a lot of diversity within the room, like as far as people that can play in all situations. Even some of our top guys like Tice, they can play on the defensive end too. So I think that really helps when you have strong two-way players like that. And that goes for our defensemen as well, guys like Callahan and Crozier that are strong defensively but can put up points as well.
Yeah, so one of the great things I think about this team is, every team wants to win. I think you feel that in every locker room in Hockey East. 13 guys on this team went to the Frozen Four. Berard and Moynihan, even Coach Lehman and Teresa, they just won the gold medal at the World Junior Championships. You won a Clark Cup with Max Crozier with Sioux Falls. Not shows that everyone wants to win, but they know how to win. Do you think that helps with this team?
Absolutely. Anytime you can bring experiences from, different leagues or tournaments like the World Juniors or Frozen Four experience, that helps a lot, because you get guys that have been there before and they can help mentor some of those guys that haven't. But I think it's that calming presence that, I've been here before. I know what to do. Like, I know that we're capable of this. So I think that mindset and that mentality helps a lot, especially towards the end of the year.
Yeah. Can you also elaborate on how the facilities at Providence College have allowed you to perform and be a great athlete and help the team out as well?
Yeah, for sure. We obviously we have top-notch facilities here. I know Coach Lehman's. That was one thing that he stressed a lot when he got here was if we were going to be a top program, you got to put in some extra money to make sure that the players have everything they need to be successful. As far as recovery, meals before and after games, things like that. We're treated very well here, and we're very fortunate to have those things. So.
Yeah, that's one thing I noticed about the hockey team here at school is they feel like it's a great experience. Guys really want to be here. Is there something that surprised you so far about this school in your experience?
Um, Nothing comes to mind right away, but I'm sure I could think of something eventually. But nothing really jumps out at me.
Okay, so I gotta ask you about the no fans experience this year. What's that been like, and how does that impact you as a goalie?
Um, I think when I wasn't eligible for the first couple games of the year, being in the building and just watching, that's kind of when I notice it. But when you're on the ice, you're just so focused that it doesn't really make a difference. As that's just my personal opinion. Some people might think that it feels pretty empty, but yeah, I don't think it really affects me, too much at all, one way or the other.
Yeah, so speaking of the ice, I know you didn't play with him, but Jacob Bryson of Providence College Friar just made his NHL debut last night. That's 9 Friars since they won the national championship 2015. I know you probably see the banner all the time while you play. Does that motivate you knowing that those guys aren't too far away from where you are now?
Yeah, absolutely. That's just a testament to Coach Lehman and his staff here, that they're able to develop players and help them move on to the next level. So I think everyone here has aspirations to, play beyond college as well. So it's not just, obviously the most important thing is winning here now, winning a national championship and competing for that. But I think that knowing that Coach Lehman, like I said, and his staff are going to help us get to that next level, something that draws players, and it's really motivating to see for sure.
Yeah, so my last question is, can you elaborate on how tight this Hockey East conference is, especially with the goaltenders? And, it's interesting, they beat you the second in the conference standings because of point percentage and how that works this year. Can you just explain how tough the conference tournament is going to be?
Yeah, I mean, every night it's a battle. Even last night, when it was an 8-1 game. It's you don't have too many of those, so every night's a dogfight. It's a 1-goal game, one way or the other, going to the third period. So that's really where you win or lose those hockey games. And I'm sure the tournament's going to be just the same. It's going to be a dogfight, and it's going to come down to one bounce one way or the other, I think. So it's something that we're excited about, looking forward to. But we have some regular season games here that we got to finish strong. So we're just looking forward to Saturday against Northeastern.
That's a great way to describe it. And Jackson, best of luck against Northeastern. And
Thank
thanks for
you.
coming on my show.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
All right, have a good one.